Between a high hill and a circuitous ridge is the neat little town known as Hurricane Bridge, or at least 'twas a neat little village before the rebellion arose in the bright days of yore. But rebellion has banished those pleasures so sweet, and the wail of despair is now heard in the street. The many fine buildings in ashes are laid, the wealth of the inmates forever decayed. The 13th Virginia is camped near this town, who in a late battle have won great renown. The regiment is formed of a brave set of boys who accomplished their work without making much noise. But Albert G. Jenkins was not aware of that fact. Came here early one morning to make an attack. With a yard of white cotton unfurled to the breeze, his staff came into camp while Jenkins stayed behind trees. 'Twas Samuels who brought in the banner of truce. Says Johnson, to surrender I this morning refuse. In the time which is given to my works I'll repair, and give you a battle on principles fair. When cool as an iceberg we fell into line, to defend the bright stars which on our banner doth shine, and to hold our position at Hurricane Bridge, in spite of the Rebs on each neighboring ridge. For Jenkins marched forth with his menacing host, to capture or drive us away from our post. He threw his men round on the top of each hill, to make us surrender or fly at his will. He thought with his men on the left and the right, he would capture our squad without having to fight. And with Yankee clothing his men would equip, and thus would secure successful his trip. But Albert was much disappointed to find, to surrender that morning, we were not so inclined. Then he told all his men to prepare for the blow, and soon they'd conquer the insolent foe. From each hilltop they fired on the 13th in vain, for each at his post did boldly remain. For the space of 4 hours he fought very hard, but his incessant firing we not much did regard. Like Jeff Davis's script that's more plenty than good, they sent in their lead from each neighboring wood. Like the insects that sing in the long days of June, the balls from the Rebs almost whistled a tune. But it was not sufficient to induce us to dance. It was like Mason in England or Slidell in France, who after they made known their treacherous plan, have to end their hard labor just where they began. With stomachs quite empty and feet without shoes, each felt like a bankrupt with a spell of the blues. Like a dishonored guest ere the banquet is o'er, arrives at the feast and kept from the door. They knew in our camp were crackers, coffee, and meat, and they longed to get in to get something to eat. Like Cruz's man Friday, who on the mountain did stand, and beheld in the distance his own native land. With obstacles in front which he could not surmount, was not able to settle the lengthy account, and fell ere he crossed over the dark rolling wave, and found in the deep sea a watery grave. So Jenkins, after giving us a hard shower of hail, and finding with muskets he could not prevail, sent out his command to retreat from the field, for the 13th Virginia was too stubborn to yield. Being tired and hungry, they left in disgust, aware of the fact Albert won't do trust. He promised to give them both food and attire, in short, everything a Reb could desire. Except a good thrashing, they left as they came, with nothing to brighten Jeff Davis's fame. And Jenkins found out one blunder he made. In seeking for sunshine, he found naught but shade.